Attention, Star Cadets! Stand by for action! Captain Paxar says prepare to travel time and soar through space while facing the worst villains of the past and the future. Stand by for Captain Paxar's Star Cadet Hour.
Greetings, Star Cadets! I, Captain Paxar, am speaking to you from the secret headquarters of the Interdimensional Peace Force. Today's mission is as follows. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, and the crew of the Polaris must rescue 2 cadets stranded aboard a space destroyer designated for target practice. Stand by for action as Tom Corbett races towards target danger.
Kellogg, the greatest name in cereals, presents Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Space Academy, USA, in the world beyond tomorrow, 2350 AD. Here the Space Cadets train for duty on distant planets. In roaring rockets, they blast through the millions of miles from Earth to far-flung stars and brave the dangers of cosmic frontiers, protecting the liberties of the planets, safeguarding the cause of universal peace in the age of the conquest of space.
Attention, all squadrons from command. Blast off 0-4. Raise ship in assigned order. End transmission.
Astro, did you find him?
Yeah, I sure did, and just in time, too. He and Eric Radisson were squaring off to see who could knock whose teeth in. Yeah, and if you hadn't flooded in, that creep would be on a liquid diet.
Last you, Roger, of all times to pick a fight.
You know what I caught him doing? Trying to date my doll for the night.
How could he? The whole Academy is going out on this maneuver.
Not him. His ship's laid up for repairs, so he and his unit can goof off. So help me, if I find out he's been anywhere near her while I'm away, I'm going to turn him inside out.
Eric!
You dirty space rat, what are you doing on this ship?
Hey, easy, Roger. I'm not here because I want to be, Manning. Centauri unit's being split up for this operation. I've been assigned to the Polaris. Well, glad to have you aboard, Eric.
Yeah, talk for yourself, Tom. What are we going to do with him? Make a mess, boy?
I got news for you, pal. I'm your gunnery officer.
Gunnery, that's my job.
Well, I guess Commander Arkwright wants the ship to hit its target for a change.
Why, you...
Attention, all squadrons from command. Blast off 0. Stand by to raise ship.
This is it. Take your stations. Hey, come on.
Hello, spaceman. This is Commander Arkwright speaking. Before blasting off for maneuvers, I'd like to talk to you about this miniature spaceman. The miniature spaceman that you get free with every pair of Red Goose or John C. Roberts shoes. Now, as you can see, he's dressed for outer space in a special suit that protects him against dangerous rays, pressure, extreme heat and cold. And these suits are built to provide natural flexibility and fast action, just as the shoes that you wear should protect your feet and give plenty of room for natural flexibility for fast action. And fellas, that's just what John C. Roberts shoes for bigger boys and young men do. And right now, they're featuring a great pair of shoes built for rugged action and comfort. They're called Slugger, and they're a plain brown-tip Oxford with protective double-deck welt and natural crepe sole and heel. They're tops for comfort and long wear. Now, you can also get Slugger in smooth cordo or in blue brushed leather. Get a pair today, and get your miniature spaceman absolutely free whenever you buy a pair of John C. Roberts or Red Goose shoes. Now, come along, gang. Let's go aboard the Polaris and join Tom and the Space Cadets.
Radar bridge control deck. Closing on Sector 12. Take course 290 for first leg of patrol.
Blasting through the cold, black reaches of space near the planet Mars, Space Cadet Tom Corbett and the crew of the rocket cruiser Polaris begin their part in a gigantic maneuver, the defense of Earth against an attack from outer space. Now, on the control deck, Tom briefs his unit mates on their orders.
We're assigned to Sector 12, here on the northwest quadrant of Mars orbit. All we have to do is stay on patrol and report to Commander Arkwright if we spot the enemy fleet.
And if we don't?
Well, then we lose out on that week's leave that goes to the first ship to spot the fleet.
And lands the first shot, don't forget that.
That's right.
Yeah, with you as gunnery officer, we don't have a chance.
I can say the same thing about you on the radar scanner, pal.
All right, you two, knock it off. I'm not finished yet.
Come on, pay attention to teacher, kiddies.
I just want to add that this exercise is divided into two parts. The first, which we're taking part in now, is the interception of the enemy in space by our own fleet. Part two will be the defense of Earth by the torpedo batteries on Luna.
Oh, skip the details, Junior. We're not in that.
Yeah, but we still have to know what's going on, pal, because we've got to clear the area. We're using practice warheads on our space torpedoes, but the Luna batteries are using live ones.
Hey, what's the idea of blasting good ships?
They're obsolete, Astro, ready for the John P. They're being towed in by remote control from the command ship.
Well, everything understood?
What's to understand? We just hang around until the enemy fleet shows up and then report. No sweat. You just keep your face at that radar scanner and keep your eyes open. I want that week's lead. That chance with that wall-eyed gunnery officer we got.
Wait a minute, Roger.
What do you want?
Now, don't start anything.
It's all right, Tom. Listen, Roger. For the last time, I didn't know Betty was your girl. I wouldn't have tried to date her.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Well, you don't have to believe it if you don't want to. But in any case, we're both on this ship to do a job. And to do a good one, we have to work together. So let's forget what happened back at Spaceport and start all over again, okay?
Go blow your jets. Somehow I got a feeling there is going to be a fight on this ship, but I'm going to be the other half of it.
Forget it, Astro.
He'll cool down as soon as we get into action. Look, you better stand by below. When and if we spot that enemy fleet, we may have to do some plain and fancy space flying.
Right. What do you want me to do, Tom?
I'll just take it easy, Eric. You go to work when Roger spots the fleet. Right now, that week's lead is in his hands.
Radar bridge to control deck. Have reached northeast limit of patrol area. No sign of enemy fleet. Change course 180 degrees. That is all.
Radar bridge to control deck. Have reached southwest limit of patrol area. No sign of enemy fleet. Change course 180 degrees. That is all.
Radar bridge to control deck. Have reached northeast limit of patrol area. No sign of enemy fleet. Change course 180 degrees. That is all. Anything yet, Tom?
Not even a hunk of space junk, Astro.
I guess they're coming in by another quadrant then.
Radar bridge control deck. Heads up down there.
Control deck guy.
Tell that sharpshooter to wipe the fuzz off his eyeballs. He's got work to do.
What do you mean? Have you spotted the enemy fleet?
Yeah. 8 little clay pigeons, 5 cruisers, and 3 destroyers.
Good work, Roger. Get Eric fast.
Right.
All right, Roger, give me the dope. Range, speed, and course. I've got to alert the command ship.
Okay, here goes. Range 10,000 miles. Holding estimated full space speed. On course 1652 degrees over the ecliptic. You got it?
Right.
And shoot it to command in a hurry before any of the other patrol ships report. I want credit for winning at least half of this operation.
Don't worry, Manning. I'll do my share for the other half.
Sure. But is your share going to be good enough?
Come on, Eric. Hurry up, will you?
Yeah, coming, Astro. Listen, Manning. As soon as this trip is over, we've got a date. Just the two of us back in the mess hall where it's nice and private.
It'll be a pleasure, pal. You be there. I'll be there.
Don't worry, I'll be there waiting for you.
Holding full space speed. On course 1652 degrees over the ecliptic.
Good work, Corbett. And my compliments to your crew. You're the first ship to report sighting the enemy fleet.
Glad to hear it, sir.
Here are your orders. You will maintain a parallel course with the enemy fleet and report any changes in heading. Cruiser squadrons 7 and 9 and destroyer squadrons 18, 23, 30, and 42 are converging in your sector.
Right, sir. When do we engage the enemy?
You will not engage until the support squadrons are in range. Your mission is observation.
Hey, don't we get a crack at those ships? Well, sir, does that mean we're not going to take part in the attack?
Not at all, Corbett, but you see, you are only contact with the enemy fleet, and that contact must be maintained for successful defense. Now, the support squadron should arrive around within 3 hours. You understand your orders?
Right, sir.
Very well. Check with command every 10 minutes, and report immediately if there is any change in course. End transmission.
Well, there goes our chance at that lead.
haven't changed course a bit. I think that the ship controlling them would have sent them into some sort of evasive maneuver.
Come on, Harry. There's no point in wearing out the deck plates. Commander Arkwright won't give us the go-ahead until the support squadrons arrive.
Don't believe I'm worried about Tom. It's Manning. I want a chance to close his mouth for good. So help me, I'll...
Radar bridge control deck, check in.
Roll that guy.
On the ball, Junior. I found us a target.
What do you mean?
There's a rocket cruiser holding position about 500 miles over the main enemy fleet, on the same heading.
So what?
So it's probably one of the enemy patrol ships.
Go on. It's probably one of our own, doing
All right.
the same job we are.
Not a
Chance, Junior. This is one of their ships. I've got our attack orbit all plotted. You ready?
Well, now, wait a minute, Roger. We can't go blasting off like that. I better check with Commander Arkwright.
What for? He said only to watch these ships in the fleet. Didn't say anything about any other ships.
Well, the orders were to...
Oh, hang the orders. Besides, how do you know this isn't something extra the old man's ringing in, just to see if we're on our toes?
Roger may be right, Tom. We'd like that would have a big ship out.
You want to go after it, too?
Well, if I were running the ship, I would.
Sure. And if you were a gunnery officer anxious to nail a target, too.
Power deck to control deck, check in.
Control that guy.
Hey, what's going on up there, Tom?
Well, Roger just reported sighting another ship over the main enemy
I
fleet.
heard all that, but what I want to know is what are we waiting for? When do we go after it?
You too?
Hey, knock off the conversation, you guys. We're on converging orbit with that ship. We're going to nail it. We got to do it now.
No, Tom, this may be our only chance.
Yeah, and I sure want that leave.
All right, let's go get it.
That's what I like to hear.
Astro, stand by those rockets.
Ready and waiting.
Roger, feed us down on attack orbit.
All right, Junior, here it is.
Change course 10 degrees left, 1 degree up. We can nail our amidships.
10 degrees left, 1 degree up. Right.
Hold her steady as she goes.
Okay, Eric's ready to take over.
He is, huh? Well, he better make it good. I won't give him another approach like this.
I'll handle my job, Hotshot. You handle your own. That's a good approach, all right. Stand by 4 torpedo tubes, Tom. 1 and 2.
Ready to fire. Remember, Eric, they're only practice warheads and some flash powder. They won't really explode when they hit.
I know. But they'll hit hard enough to knock a couple of holes in that hull. Hello, power deck?
Power deck, aye.
Give me full space speed. Maintain thrust evenly on all rockets.
At ease, Star Cadets! Captain Paxar's Star Cadet Hour will be back in a moment! Stand by for action, Star Cadets! We now return to Captain Paxar's Star Cadet Hour!
Steady.
Range, 10 miles. 9, 8,
Stand by to fire.
7, 6, 5.
Fire 1.
Number 1 fired.
Fire 2.
Number 2 fired.
Come on, babies. Come on.
They're heading for the target, Eric. They're on the beam. Bullseye with both of them. Beautiful shooting, Eric. Beautiful.
Thanks, Tom. It's funny. At the last minute, I could have sworn I saw that ship start to change course.
Impossible. There's no one aboard. Hey, fellas, we nailed her.
Aye, Eric, old pal, I'm going to spend 1 full day of my leave shining your shoes.
Well, Roger, how about it?
Okay, so you hit him. What do you want me to do, shoot off rockets?
That's right, Sorehead. Play it off. Say, I better contact Commander Arkwright.
Rocket cruiser Polaris from Commander Arkwright.
Hey, there he is.
Polaris here. I was just about to call you, sir. I want to report engaging enemy patrol ship over main fleet and scoring direct hits with 2 torpedoes.
My compliments on the speed of your approach, Corbett, and the accuracy of your gunner. But, for your information, you did not hit an enemy patrol ship. You have just crippled our command cruiser.
I can understand a certain overzealous behavior, an eagerness to have the honor of landing the first shot on an enemy ship, to say nothing of that week's furlough. But the fact still remains that your disobedience of orders crippled my ship.
We're sorry, sir, but we didn't know.
Commander Arkwright from Fleet Command.
Stand easy, boys. Arkwright here.
Maneuvers are completed, sir. Defense fleet is withdrawing according to schedule.
Good. The torpedo batteries on Luna ready?
They plan to fire on schedule, sir, but we may have to delay firing.
Why?
When one of those torpedoes from the Polaris hit us, it damaged the remote control relay to the destroyer Prometheus. It's shooting off course. We'll have to wait until we can get a crew aboard her to set the autopilot.
It won't be necessary to delay firing. I'll have a crew aboard the Prometheus in 10 minutes.
Very good, sir.
How about the command ship? Will you need any assistance?
No, sir, we'll have her patched up in about 6 hours. I'm glad those cadets weren't firing live warheads.
All right. Keep in touch. Stand by. Well, boys, it looks as if we have a little work to do before we can blast back to Earth. Manning, Radisson, you're both electronic and radar specialists, aren't you?
Aye, aye, sir.
Extra special.
Very well. You're both detailed to adjust the autopilot on that destroyer. Use the jet boat to get aboard.
You mean the two of us alone, sir?
Do you want me to go along and hold your hands? Of course I mean the two of you alone. Now blast off. You have only half an hour to do the job.
Yes, sir.
Come on,
Al.
Sir, maybe I better go over there.
Or I could go with Roger. I can do the job,
So
sir.
what's the matter with you two? Why can't they do the job alone?
Oh, well, they can't, sir.
It's just that they're not exactly used to working together.
I'm not asking them to fly to Alpha Centauri. It seems like a simple job, and I see no reason to change my orders. Besides, it seems that they were personally responsible for the damage, so it's their duty to correct it.
Yes, sir.
Get along, Corbett.
Right.
Get them as close to the destroyer as you can, and call me when they're aboard.
Yes, Commander.
Isn't there something we can do about stopping this?
You heard him, Astro.
Yeah, but those two guys are madder than ever. They're blaming each other for crippling the command ship.
I know. And I hate to think of what might happen when they're alone together on that destroyer.
Autopilot servos are down here on the power deck. It'll only take us a minute to adjust them.
They're still aboard. The ship's been stripped to the bone. Hey, watch yourself. That girder's loose. If it falls on you, you'll feel it.
Yeah, it'd make you real sad, wouldn't it?
Suppose we get this job finished before we tackle personal matters.
Suits me.
Here's the main servo out. You better contact the Polaris.
Okay. Rocket cruiser Polaris from Prometheus. Rocket cruiser Polaris from Prometheus. Manning, calling Corbett. Check in.
I understand, Roger. But hurry it up. It's getting pretty close to firing time. End transmission.
Everything all right, Corbett?
Yes, sir. They're working on the autopilot servos now. Should only take them a couple of minutes.
When will the Luna batteries open fire, sir?
In exactly 4 minutes. I'd like to see the boys off the ship before that.
Ready whenever you are. Start feeding the power in.
Here goes.
Hey, take it easy, Junior.
I can't help it. The rocket heads are worn out. They're not firing evenly.
All right. Give me a little more. A little more. That does it. She's on course.
Hey, take it easy, Junior. Don't get on it. Look out! Eric, look out! Eric! Looks like we have to cancel it. Wait.
Corbett, have they left the destroyer yet?
Well, no, sir. The jet boat's still in the starboard airlock.
What the devil's keeping them?
Well, they're both pretty careful guys, sir. I guess they want to make sure the autopilot keeps that destroyer on course.
Commander Arkwright from Fleet Command.
Mark right here.
Just wanted to report that the Luna space batteries have fired their first salvo, sir.
Right on time. All right, keep me informed. End transmission. Well, boys, I hope that Manning and Radisson realize that in less than 10 minutes, that destroyer will be blasted into space dust.
Blast! Must be some way to lift this thing. Sure, what a jerk I am. The main rockets and the gravity generators are cut down. I can lift this with one finger.
Relax, Buster. You don't have nearly enough muscle to move that thing.
Look, Eric, you gotta get to work. I'll try to lift and you try to roll out from under.
What kind of rocket jockey are you? Turn the motors off. We'll cut the gravity down to nothing.
I already tried that, but everything's hooked up to remote control. Nothing works. We gotta do this by ourselves. Come on, try to roll out.
It's no use, Roger. I can't move. I'm pinned down, sir.
What are you doing, quitting?
It's not a question of that. I just can't move. You can't lift this girder. You better blast off now.
What do you mean, blast off?
This ship is going to be kissed by a torpedo in a few minutes, remember? A torpedo with a live warhead. It'll make rocket dust out of even you.
Yeah, and if I blast off, what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna lift this by yourself, I suppose?
No, but it's no use for both of us.
Don't give me that hero routine, Junior. You're not the type.
Blast it, will you? Get out of here!
Look, you damp your tubes, Buster. I'm not leaving this crate without you. I'm gonna make sure that you keep that date behind the mess hall.
Why can't they steer those torpedoes clear? They're being guided from lunar batteries, aren't they?
No, sir. This first salvo is armed with homing warheads. They can't be stopped now.
I see. Very well, stand by. It's no use, Corbett. In 5 minutes, those torpedoes will find their mark, and there's not a thing we can do about it.
Why can't we go down there and haul them off ourselves?
In 5 minutes, impossible.
Well, then, why don't we try to push the destroyer out of the way?
Those torpedoes are armed with homing warheads, Astro. The ones that are aimed at the destroyer will follow it all over space.
Sir.
Yes.
It seems to me there's only one other answer.
It had better be the right one, Corbett.
It is, if we can work it. We've got to stop that torpedo before it hits the destroyer.
Stop it.
How? By hitting it with one of our own torpedoes.
Oh, it's absolutely insane, Corbett. You're out of your mind.
I know it, sir. But do I have your permission to try it?
Of course. What else can we do?
All right, Astro, get into that chair. It's up to you to give me a clean shot.
Okay, pal, I'll have you looking right down the throat of that torpedo.
All right, now, Eric. Now, roll out. All right. I just can't move.
That does it. I couldn't even lift a toothpick now.
Well, the last time we get out of here.
Yeah, you're tempting me, Junior. There isn't time. The thing will hit in 3 minutes. I couldn't even get out of range.
Might make it.
Ah, why bother? Besides, I always did want company on a spot like this. Even if it is you.
There it is, Tom. Heading 305.
All right. Hold this speed and correct heading 3 degrees left.
3 left.
Fine. Hold her steady as she goes.
Robert, you have less than 2 minutes left.
I know it, sir, but I'll have only one shot. It's got to be good. Astro, stand by on forward tube number 3.
Standing by.
Correct heading 1 degree right.
1 right.
Stand by.
Less than 1 minute, Corbett.
Stand by. Fire.
Number 3 fired.
There's only a few seconds left. Those jokers on Luna know how to aim.
Afraid they do, Roger.
It's funny. Every other time I've been in a spot like this, I always felt I'd get out of it somehow. This time. Hey, listen, Eric.
Yeah?
I don't know how to say this, but...
Hey, you're not going soft on me, are you, Manny?
Of course not. I just wanted to tell you that, well, maybe I made a mistake about you, and I want you to know that I'm...
Here it comes! Wait, we're still in one piece.
Yeah, unless this is heaven. Nope, not with you around.
I don't get it. Those torpedoes can blast a ship to splinters.
Yeah, somebody better tell Commander Arkwright his torpedoes are pretty crummy.
Yeah? The aim was perfect. He blasted that torpedo with one of his own practice warheads.
And what about the 2 boys on the destroyer, sir? Are they all right?
Well, I think so. Corbett and Astro have gone over to get them. Oh, here they come now. I'll check with you later. End transmission.
Both all right, sir. No
Yeah.
serious damage.
Radisson, how are the legs?
Kind of banged up, sir. But I was lucky. No broken bones.
You were lucky for a lot more than that, pal.
I still can't believe it. Did Tom really do it by himself,
He
sir?
certainly did.
From now on, I'm keeping my mouth shut about my gunnery. Well, that'll be a break.
Well, Corbett, suppose you take Radisson to his bunk and make him comfortable. After that, we'll flash back to Earth. I think we all deserve some rest.
Maybe a week's rest, sir?
All right, Astro. Maybe a week's rest.
Oh, thanks, sir.
That's great. That'll give you a chance to regain your strength, Eric.
Yeah? What?
Well, we got a date behind the mess hall, remember?
Oh, sure.
Hey, look, Roger, are you still off on that kick?
What's the matter, Junior? Can't a guy buy a friend dinner?
Star Cadets, the first phase of our mission was a rousing success. Captain Paxar's Star Cadet Hour will be back in a moment.
Welcome back, Star Cadets. I, Captain Paxar, will now brief you on the second phase of our mission. Scott McCloud, aka Space Angel, is assigned to a brand new exploratory ship and sent on a mission to a mysterious world. Stand by for action as Space Angel goes on an expedition to a new moon.
Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of Expedition to a New Moon. We find Taurus, Crystal, Scott, and Professor Mace aboard the Evening Star, discussing plans for colonizing a new moon.
But, Father, what's so unusual about a new moon?
This moon resembles our Earth so much, we think it may have an atmosphere.
And if it has an atmosphere, it can be colonized.
Aye, we can use a little more productive land in this solar system. Precisely why you're going there, Taurus. We need a complete survey.
Then we'll have to make a geological survey as well.
Right. Your ship is outfitted with all the necessary equipment. Of course, Chris. We'll be taking the new survey ship. Scott, have you had a chance to look over the new ship since your return?
Not yet, Professor. We better go down and check it out now.
Good. It's being outfitted in Tube 3. The Chief expects you to blast off at 6:03 a.m. Earth time. Aye, we're no sooner than get back to home base, and here we go again.
Now, Taurus. Father has just explained that the target is approaching orbital position for blastoff.
Otherwise, we'll have to delay the project for another year.
Notify the Chief. We'll make the deadline, Professor.
Come on, gang. Let's get going.
You and Taurus tested the surveyor, didn't you, Scott?
Yes, Crystal. But the instrumentation wasn't complete at the time. We still have a lot of equipment to check out. There she is. That's going to be our home for a while. How do you like the Surveyor, Chris?
It's a beautiful ship.
It's probably the most completely equipped survey ship ever built, with all the equipment necessary to do a geological survey. The control section can be ejected and act as a landing sphere.
I'd feel more at home in the Starduster. This ship is too slow.
Taurus, this is a survey mission, not a space race.
There goes our moonmobile aboard. It's built to travel over any kind of terrain. It's going to come in real handy.
Aye, Skipper. I'm glad they remembered spacemen are allergic to walking. Ha ha ha.
Okay, gang, let's get aboard and check this baby out. We've got to be ready for blast-off at 0600 in the morning.
Now hear this. Clear the tube for blast-off.
Reactors, go.
Umbilical, go.
Cabin pressure, go.
Tube doors opening. Ready and counting. 10, 9.
Angle of blastoff 320, vector 4.
Correcting angle. Trajectory angle, go. Increasing power. OS 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trajectory good, approaching target velocity.
Count it.
Roger. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. A-OK, we're in free flight.
Boy, this baby's got a kick like a mule.
What's the matter, Torres? Can't you take it anymore?
There is more pounds of me to be pressed than there is of you, lass.
That's for sure.
Check the course, Chris.
Right on target, Scott. 2 points off the twin star mirror.
Right. And our flight plan velocity should get us there in 12 space periods.
So we may as well relax and enjoy the scenery.
Except for one thing, Taurus. We'll be getting into an uncharted area. Turn on your forward viewer and keep a sharp lookout.
Okay, Skipper.
There it is. Take a look in your viewer.
Mirror, the red giant. Look at the size of those suns, Skipper.
If we took our solar system and placed our sun in the middle of that red star, Mars would barely touch the surface.
That's big.
Scott, center focus 20 degrees east and south. There's our moon.
She's sure coming up fast, Skipper.
Yes, we're intercepting its orbit head-on. Prepare to reduce speed.
Aye, Skipper. DX tubes ready for firing, sir.
Give us a gravity count, Chris.
0.1, 0.2, 3, 4, 5.
Deflect 2 degrees up. Fire 3. Stand by. I'm placing this baby into orbit.
We're in orbit, Scott.
Horace, prepare the landing sphere.
Aye, Skipper.
We're going to take a trip downstairs.
There doesn't appear to be any atmosphere, Scott.
We'll soon find out, Chris. We're sure not going to go without our space helmets.
Hate to mention it, Skipper, but who's going to watch the store?
We can control the surveyor by remote control. When we land, we'll set up a station. That'll be our home base for a while. We'll land this big baby after we prepare a pad.
Just thought I'd ask.
$80,000 feet and dropping fast.
Stand by retro rockets, Taurus.
Aye, lad.
This is strange, Scott. The gravity indicator keeps switching. Now it's negative. There it goes again.
Reading.
Well, now it's just about double Earth's gravity.
So how do you make a landing, Skipper? We may begin hopping like a jackrabbit in another minute.
40,000.
Fire retros. Must be gravity strips. Let's pick one and try it.
Aye, Skipper.
Scott, we're falling.
Pretty fast, Skipper.
Phew.
Good work, Skipper. That landing was much softer than I expected.
I share your sentiments. Now let's roll at the moon buggy and see what the climate's like outside. What's the oxygen indicator suggest, Taurus?
There's an atmosphere, lad, but we can't breathe it.
But if there's air...
It's frozen. See that funny-looking iceberg? There's your atmosphere.
That might just explain the crazy gravity on this moon.
How do you mean, Skipper?
At double Earth's gravity, the air must have been pulled down and formed into these glaciers. Notice how they appear in rows?
Well, now that you mention it...
Stand by. Something's pulling us over.
Well, trapped in their moonmobile on a strange new moon. What will happen to Scott, Crystal, and Taurus? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of Expedition to a New Moon. remember last time, Scott, Taurus, and Crystal blasted off in a specially built survey ship to explore a newly discovered moon. They left the main body of the ship in suspended orbital flight and landed on the planet in the control sphere. Embarking from the sphere in their specially equipped moonmobile, they started their survey of the new moon. While exploring, they discovered that the gravity on this planet was in strips. As they neared one of these gravity strips, a strange force grasped the ship. Even with power and throttle full forward, they were pulled slowly but steadily backward into the gravity strip.
Are you all right? I can't seem to move, Skipper. I feel so heavy.
It's hard to breathe, Scott.
We're caught in one of those gravity belts. If I can activate this engine again.
What's wrong, lad?
I can't reach it.
I think I can make it.
You're a bull.
I felt so heavy I couldn't even blink my eyes.
Clean living, Skipper.
Before we do much traveling, I suggest we set up our lunar station and land the surveyor.
Good idea, lad. This place is not too friendly, and I'd feel better if we had a home base to run to.
Taurus, you roll out the shelter dome while I find a good spot to set her up.
Okay, Skipper.
We better hurry, Scott. We haven't much daylight left.
You're right. Inside that creeping shadow, it's cold enough to freeze the atmosphere.
Where do you want it, Skipper?
Over there, Taurus.
Here she comes. Good catch, Skipper.
Okay.
At ease, Star Cadets! Captain Paxar's Star Cadet Hour will be back in a moment! Stand by for action, Star Cadets! We now return to Captain Paxar's Star Cadet Hour!
Shadow, it's cold enough to freeze the atmosphere.
Where do you want it, Skipper?
Over there, Taurus.
Here she comes. Good catch, Skipper.
Okay. Everybody stand back.
Watch closely, lass, and you'll see how a king-sized igloo is hatched.
That should give us ample living quarters. Now let's attach the landing sphere and set up housekeeping. Well, now to test the equipment.
Go ahead, Skipper.
Everything seems to be in order. Let's see if we can pick up the surveyor. There. That should be it. Check it on the screen. Yep, that's her, all right.
She's holding a stable orbit. We'll bring her down in the morning, Skipper?
Yes, but first we'll have to build a hard pad to land her on. Whoa. Lucky for us, we're not out there. The temperature's dropping 10 degrees a second.
Look out there. Did you ever see such a sight?
Aye, but we're as snug as bugs in here. And 'tis a beautiful sight to see.
Hey! What? Scott! What's that?
Those are rocks exploding from a sudden change in temperature.
Suffering Jupiter. This is something we didn't plan for.
Scott, we're losing air.
We've been hit. Our shielding's punctured.
Their lunar station losing air after being punctured by exploding rocks. How will Scott, Crystal, and Taurus be able to get out alive?
Don't miss the next exciting episode of Scott McCloud, Space Angel. for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of
Expedition to a New Moon. Remember last time, having had a narrow escape from death by falling over the cliff, Taurus got the Moonmobile going again so they could get back to setting up their lunar station. Having set it up and checked to see if the surveyor was holding a stable orbit, Mira, the red giant, started a series of explosions. Rocks punctured their lunar house, and it started to collapse from lack of pressure.
Quick, Taurus. Flip on our auxiliary compressor.
Aye, Skipper.
Give us a pressure reading, Chris.
8.5 pounds and dropping.
Pressure suits, lad?
No time. We'll never make it.
Pressure at 6.3, Scott.
This is it, Skipper?
Now what's the reading, Chris?
It's still holding at 6.3 pounds.
I don't get it.
Pressure at 8.5 pounds and rising.
Ever hear of an old-fashioned self-sealing inner tube, Taurus?
Well, if that isn't the blasted... Of course. This station's nothing but a flat inner tube. I'll be darned.
Of course, if we'd been hit by a really large fragment, I wouldn't have been so confident.
You dog. You could have told us. I was frantic.
How about you getting your father on the televiewer, Chris? He'll want to know what we found on this moon.
Yes, sir. Right away. Yes, Dad. And the atmosphere is frozen in strip.
Frozen atmosphere, eh? Scott, what happens when ice is heated?
It melts, then turns to steam, Professor.
Exactly. Now listen and listen carefully. You are going to try a little experiment.
Go ahead, Professor.
Basically, what we are going to attempt is utilize kinetic energy derived from the various gravity belts on your moon. This friction should generate a continuous heat.
But, Professor, wouldn't that create a flood condition?
Possibly, if the heat generated were not hot enough. To ensure against this possibility, you are going to plant a thermonuclear activator within the depths of the moon.
Sound.
All clear, Scott?
I've got you, Professor. We'll contact you later. Over.
Good luck. Out.
Well, let's get busy.
Following Professor Mace's instruction, they planted the magnetic electrodes at strategic points between the gravity belts.
How far from the next gravity belt, Taurus?
Almost there, Skipper. Okay, slow down. There it is. Should do it, lad. We've planted almost 200 of these magnetic electrodes.
All right, back to the station. This next step is a doozy.
I don't mind telling you, Skipper, I was scared silly when we planted that thermonuclear activator. What if it had gone off?
Nothing could happen unless we trigger it. And that doesn't occur until we're a safe distance out in space.
Then our job here is about finished, eh, Skipper?
As soon as I check our circuits, we'll bring our ship out of orbit and blast off.
Good. I'll prepare the landing pad while you're doing that.
Good grief.
Crystal?
It's the surveyor. Something's wrong. Look.
Why, it's being pulled out of orbit.
Look. It's falling towards the twin suns.
Another moment, and their surveyor rocket will burn up in the atmosphere of the twin suns. Then, how will they ever get back? Be sure to see the next exciting episode of Space Angel.
Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of
Expedition to a New Moon. Remember last time, having talked to Professor Mace, Scott, Taurus, and Crystal were on their way to plant thermonuclear activators within the depths of the moon Mira. having planted over 200 electrodes, which would not be triggered until they were out in space. They left for the Surveyor rocket, only to find Mira's magnetic field pulling it out of orbit.
Quick, Taurus. Activate remote controls on the Surveyor.
Aye, Skipper. Activated. Engines on.
Facing Mira Suns, Taurus.
Maybe we can blast her out.
Pressure up, lad. Fire when ready.
Stand by.
I can feel the heat from here.
I'm changing the orbit path. The Surveyor will circle over us now.
Like orbiting the North Pole on Earth, eh, lad?
In a way. All set, gang?
Set.
Go ahead, lad.
Switching to ILS, Chris.
She's on the beam, Scott.
Okay, Taurus, looks good. Extend landing legs.
Roger, Skipper.
There she is, gang. Perfect touchdown. Good work.
I, for one, am sure glad to see that baby.
Okay, let's get out of here.
What about the shelter, Scott?
Leave it. There's no time to dismantle. Take a look back there.
Aye, lass, you wouldn't want to spend another night here, would you?
Taurus, reading.
She's not clear yet, Skipper. She's still struggling through the scrambled gravity belts.
As soon as we're clear, we'll change all that.
She's clear.
Flame out.
She's in free fall.
First, we'll activate the electrodes we've planted back there. Get set, everybody. Here goes. From here, we've got a grandstand seat.
How much longer, Skipper?
Just a couple of seconds, stop.
It's working. Father was right.
A beautiful sight. An Earth being born right before our eyes.
This is fantastic. Look at that.
What a spot for an asparagus ranch. That has to be the place.
It looks like Earth in its formative stage.
Just think. In a few hundred years, there'll be cities down there. People working, a whole new life taking shape.
Aye, Skipper. But I sure hope we get back down there before then.
Why, Taurus?
Oh, soon those trout streams are going to be jumping, and I sure would like to do some fishing before those Sunday picnickers start to clutter them up. And so ends another exciting adventure with Scott McCloud, Space Angel.
Great job, Star Cadets! The captain will debrief you in a moment when Captain Paxar's Star Cadet Hour returns.
Mission accomplished, Star Cadets. You've all served with valor and honor. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, Space Angel, and I, Captain Paxar of the Interdimensional Peace Force, salute you. You may now stand down until we meet again at the appointed time coordinates, when we will again undertake a daring mission through time, space, and alternate dimensions. Until then, Star Cadets, always remember, keep the peace.